the administration, quote, has forced NIH under Bhattacharya's watch to politicize research by halting high-quality, peer-reviewed grants and contracts. Policies, they say, are damaging the NIH. Termination of a number of grants in different areas, from health equity to the effect of climate change on health, COVID-19, and other areas.
I have a couple clips from CNN of the NIH pushing back against the Trump administration's attack on our public health and safety. So we're going to break it down and more. If you can, though, take a moment to first leave us a like on the video. It lets us know you enjoy the content and it helps us on our road to 20K subscribers. And let's see what context we can add.
The director of the National Institutes of Health is set to face some tough questions on Capitol Hill today over the proposed budget cuts that they want to implement at NIH, slashing the budget potentially by 43%, which means programs and research.
I want to stop here quickly so we can discuss in full the NIH cuts, because they are truly heinous, but being kind of lost in the chaos of the media cycle. But 43% cuts to the NIH isn't something to gloss over. It would cut the amount of research institutes alone by nearly 2/3, going from 27 to just 9 across the nation, with a 43% staffing reduction as well. Almost 2,000 less grants for medical research will be given as a result of this cut. Over 99% of new medicines in the last decade relied on research funded by the NIH. To kind of give you a picture of how important that is, the NIH, along with universities, are pivotal for the research in most vaccines, both of which are losing their grant funding here. Like the COVID vaccine, for instance, is single-handedly, or I guess double-handedly responsible, or can be attributed to the NIH and university research. And estimates also show that these reductions could cost 82 million life years among the population over the next 25 years. Economists value life years at 100 to 200K. Taking the low end of that, that would reflect $8.2 trillion loss by this incredibly stupid decision.
The NIH employees are calling this the Bethesda Declaration, after the location of the headquarters of the National Institutes of Health in Maryland. And they're modeling it after something called the Great Barrington Declaration, which was a piece of writing that really sort of brought the current director of the NIH, Dr. J. Bhattacharya, to national prominence. This was a piece of writing he put out with colleagues in October of 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic that espoused a sort of contrarian approach to protecting the most vulnerable while loosening up restrictions on those who were less vulnerable to COVID-19. Now, that was seen as a dangerous approach at the time by many before we had a vaccine. But at any rate, this is what they're modeling their dissent on, saying essentially that they appreciate the director's openness to not suppressing different scientific ideas. Now, what they're taking issue with here is the termination of a number of grants in different areas, from health equity to the effect of climate change on health, COVID-19, and other areas.
And the craziest part about all of this is it's established science. Conservatives will lean on established science when they tell you things like life begins at conception. But now, because certain aspects have crossed into politically partisan territory, they want to call it into question, which, to be clear, the full range of cuts here does include like cuts to cancer research and institutions, non-infectious disease prevention, infectious disease prevention, vaccines, and more. But even for these woke issues that they take issue with, climate change has an effect on health. We know this for a fact, and it needs to be studied more. Whether you want to say, well, climate change isn't human-made or this and this, we know it affects health regardless, right? Trans people exist. They have medical complications that affect them different than cisgendered people that we need to better understand. Conservatives just want this group of people to die. Like, different minority groups are affected by different viruses differently. These aren't woke issues. They're necessary topics for medical research.
Policies, they say, are damaging the NIH and keeping it from fulfilling its mission of improving health both in the United States and around the world. In the letter, they say that the administration, quote, has forced NIH under Bhattacharya's watch to politicize research by halting high-quality, peer-reviewed grants and contracts. Academic freedom, they say, should not be applied selectively based on political ideology. Now, the NIH responding to this, telling us in a statement from Bhattacharya, quote, the Bethesda Declaration has some fundamental misconceptions misconceptions about the policy directions the NIH has taken in recent months, including the continuing support of the NIH for international collaboration. Nevertheless, he says respectful dissent in science is productive. We all want the NIH to succeed.
And again, it's all to better afford these rich guy tax cuts. Do not let that be forgotten. MAGA wants to give massive income breaks and breaks on homes and yachts to rich people and corporations so bad that they're not only willing to raise taxes on all Americans making less than $51,000 a year by 2029, pull millions of Americans off their health care by 2028, and destroy our ability to do medical research, but they want to get rid of doctors and professionals and vaccines and all of these things that go along with established science. It fits in with their attack on intellectualism and academia as well. I mean, and the biggest thing to remember with that is that nobody elected these people to be in our doctor's office. They elected them to lower prices. Now they're the ones deciding if treatments are valid, all with no qualifications. We want people who know what they're talking about, where the science is settled here. Vaccines are good. They are one of the best products of the public sector. Surprise, surprise. That's another reason conservatives try to destroy the efficacy of them, and we should continue to fund medical research and advancements to ensure a healthier and safer society. We should want to allow this also internationally to prohibit travel risks and disease that will inevitably make it back to us anyhow by all metrics. This is just a horrendously dumb move to give more handouts to the wealthy. It's being forced at this point.